Have you ever felt like you are falling behind in life? You look at your friends and you see them moving forward. They are getting married, buying houses, building careers, and you are still in the same place. A heavy feeling grows in your heart, and a quiet question whispers in your mind. Is it too late for me? This is a story for anyone who has ever felt that way. It is not a story about a celebrity or a superhero. It is a story about the quiet courage of an ordinary person who decided that his past would not define his future. It is a powerful reminder that the biggest changes in our lives often start with the smallest steps, and that it is never, ever too late to be happy. Welcome to Grow English Mastery. I'm your host, Scarlett. Today, we are not learning a complex grammar rule. We are learning a lesson about life through an inspiring story. In this episode, we will follow the incredible journey of a man who learned to believe in second chances. First, we will see how small daily actions can transform a life of regret into a life of hope. Second, we will master 7 essential vocabulary words for talking about dreams and new beginnings. And finally, for our language focus, we will review the simple past and future tenses, the grammar we need to tell our own stories of change. Are you ready for a story that might change the way you see your own life? Our story begins with a man who felt that his best days were behind him, but he was about to learn that his journey was just beginning. Part 1. The weight of the pastor story begins with a man named Arthur. When he was young, he had many dreams. He wanted a big house, a beautiful car, and a happy family. But life was hard. He worked every day at a small, unimportant job. He lived in a tiny room in a big, lonely city. He wanted more from life, but he had no time and no money. Many years went by, and Arthur was still in the same place. His friends got married, they bought houses, and they had children. He felt like he was falling behind. He smiled when he saw them, but inside his heart felt empty. One evening, he looked in the mirror. His hair was no longer black. It was turning gray. He saw tired lines on his face, and he thought to himself, "Is it too late for me?" He thought that maybe he had missed his chance for happiness. He was sad, but he kept going. He went to work. He came home. He watched television. Every day was the same. He told himself, "This is my life now." But deep inside, a small part of him still had hope. A small part of him still wanted more. But he was afraid. He did not want to try and fail again. He did not want to hope, only to be disappointed one more time. So he stayed the same, trapped by the past. But sometimes life gives you an unexpected gift. How can a simple conversation change the course of a person's entire life? Let's see what happened next to Arthur. Part 2. A new beginning. Then, something changed. One day at a local library, he met someone. Her name was Clara. She was kind, she was smart, and she had a smile that made him feel warm. They started talking. They talked every day. They laughed together. They shared their stories. Clara was also alone, and she also had dreams that she had put aside. One afternoon, as they walked in the park, Arthur asked her the question that was heavy on his heart. "Clara," he said, "do you ever feel that it's too late for us to find happiness?" She stopped walking, turned to him, and smiled. "Arthur," she said gently, "it is never too late." Her words were simple, but for Arthur they were powerful. They stayed in his heart. For the first time in a long time, he started to believe them. He stopped looking at his past with regret. He stopped thinking about all the lost time. He started to look at today, and he started to think about tomorrow. He took small steps. He made new plans. He started to save a little bit of money from his small job. And for the first time in many years, he felt hopeful. His days were still the same, but his heart had changed. He was not alone anymore. He had a reason to try again. Hope is a powerful fuel, but hope without action is just a dream. How did Arthur turn his new hope into a real, tangible change in his life? The next part of his journey is about taking brave, practical steps. Part 3. From Hope to Action. One evening, as they sat by the river, Clara asked him a question that no one had asked him in years. "Arthur, what do you truly want in life?" He was quiet for a long time. He had stopped thinking about what he wanted. He had only worked and waited. But now he had to answer. He took a deep breath and said, "I want a home, a place that is mine, and I want a family. I want a life that makes me happy." Clara smiled. "Then why not start now?" she asked. That night, Arthur lay in bed and thought about her words. Why not start now? He had waited for so long thinking he needed more time, more money, more luck. But he realized that maybe he didn't need those things. Maybe he just needed to start. The very next day, Arthur made a decision. He would not wait anymore. He would take action. He applied for a new job. It was a better position with better pay. He was nervous, but he remembered Clara's words. He prepared for the interview. He practiced his answers. He walked in with confidence. The interview was not easy, but he did his best. And a few days later, his phone rang. The company offered him the job. He had done it. He had taken the first big step to change his life. With his new job, Arthur started saving more money. His dream of owning a home was no longer just a dream in his mind. It was a real achievable goal. He worked hard and soon he received a promotion. His confidence grew. He was no longer the man who watched life pass him by. He was a man who was building his own future step by step. Finally, the day came. He found a small house with a garden. It was not a big, fancy house, but it was perfect. It was a place he could call his own. When he held the keys in his hand for the first time, he felt a true sense of accomplishment. He had worked for it. He had waited for it. And now, it was real. That evening, he invited Clara to see the house. As they stood in the empty living room, he looked at her and realized that his journey was not just about a house or a job. It was about finding someone who believed in him. He took a deep breath and asked, "Will you share this home with me?" Her eyes filled with happy tears and she said, "Yes, I will." In that moment, Arthur knew his journey was complete. He had not just found a home. He had found happiness. He had found love. He had found a new beginning. Part 4. Language focus now. Let's move on to our language focus. First, our 7 essential vocabulary words from Arthur's story. Our first word is journey. A journey is a long process of personal change and development. For example, Arthur's journey was about finding hope and a new beginning. Our second word is to believe. To believe means to feel that something is true or possible. For example, Clara's words helped Arthur to believe in himself again. Our third word is hope. Hope is a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. For example, for the first time in years, he felt a sense of hope for the future. Next, we have courage. Courage is the ability to do something that frightens you. For example, it took courage for Arthur to apply for a new job. Our fifth word is to achieve. To achieve means to successfully reach a goal, usually through hard work. For example, he worked hard to achieve his dream of owning a home. The sixth word is progress. Progress is the process of moving forward and improving. For example, saving a little money each week was a sign of his progress. And our final word is a second chance. A second chance is an opportunity to try something again after failing one time. For example, Arthur felt like life had given him a second chance at happiness. Now for our grammar focus. A review of tenses for storytelling. Arthur's story is a beautiful example of how we use different tenses to talk about our lives. First, we use the simple past tense to talk about finished actions and situations in the past. This is the main tense for telling a story. For example, he worked every day. He felt like he was falling behind. He met a kind woman. Second, we use the future tense with will to talk about future decisions, promises or offers made at the moment of speaking. For example, when Clara asked him to start now, he made a decision. I will not wait anymore. I will start now. When he asked Clara to share his home, he said, "Will you share this home with me?" Mastering how to move between the past and the future is the key to telling a complete and compelling story about your own life. You've been inspired by Arthur's story. Now, how can you practice these ideas and this language in your own life? Part 5. Practice tips for the 4 skills for listening. Find a short, inspiring story on YouTube about someone who achieved their dreams later in life. Listen for how they talk about their past with the simple past and their decisions for the future with will. For speaking, think about one small dream you have for your own future. Use your AI Tutor's voice feature. First, tell a one-sentence story about your past using the simple past. Then, state your future dream using will. For example, before I was afraid to speak English. Now I will practice every day to become confident. For reading, find a short article online about second chances. Read the stories of people who made big changes in their lives. Pay attention to the language of hope and future plans. And for writing, this is a wonderful exercise for your journal. Write a short paragraph about a dream you have. Write one sentence about the past using the past simple, and one sentence about your future plan using will. For example, in the past, I thought it was too hard to learn a new skill. But now, I will commit to learning something new this year. Part 6. Your next action Arthur's story is a powerful reminder that our journey is not over until we decide it is. Learning English, finding happiness, achieving a dream, it is never too late to start. Your past does not have to define your future. The most important step is always the next one. As we conclude, let's quickly summarize our lesson today. First, we followed the inspiring story of Arthur, who proved that it is never too late to find a second chance at happiness and success. Second, we learned that small, consistent steps are the key to turning hope into action. We also learned 7 essential vocabulary words for this journey. As a review, those words were journey, to believe, hope, courage, to achieve, progress, and a second chance. Your story is still being written. The next page is blank. What will you write on it? What is one small, brave step you can take this week to move forward on your own journey? Please share your commitment in the comment section below. If you are committed to making this mindset a part of your life, show your energy by smashing that like button. Be a hero for a friend by sharing this video with someone who feels like it might be too late for them. And to lock in your commitment to learning, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you don't miss our next workout. Remember Arthur's lesson. It is never, ever too late to be happy. Until next time, take care and happy learning.